Can someone explain to me why the Ravens are 10-point favorites when both teams are 5-3? We're going to preview this game, run through some of the injury news going into NFL Week 9, and then I'll give you my keys to victory along with my score prediction at the end of the video. But we are in a subscriber race with our Ravens channel here at Chat Sports to the next milestone. For us, that's about 150 subs away. For them, a little over 400 subs away, but they have made ground on us overall. So don't let up. Hit that sub button down below. And if you're already subscribed, like today's video, that would go a long way as well. But let's talk about some of the injury news going into this week. No injury report just yet. The first one will come out on Wednesday. But overall, I'm going to cautiously say, hopefully not jinxing anything, the Broncos are pretty healthy. I mean, compared to some other teams in the NFL. You look back at their Week 1 starters, there's only 3 guys that did not play in Week 8. Luke Wattenberg, who is on injured reserve with an ankle injury, although I don't want to say if there's one guy to get injured, it's him, but like if there's one guy who is not crucial to the offensive line, it's probably the newest starter, and I think Forsythe has done a good job filling in. Alex Singleton with a torn ACL is irreplaceable, although Cody Barton has played his ass off in his spot. And then P.J. Locke, he was doubtful going into the Panthers game with a thumb injury. He missed it overall. But only 2 guys on IR from both sides of the football halfway through the season. I'll take it. As for the Ravens, they are usually one of the most injury-plagued teams, and they still have a fair amount of injuries, but for their standards, they're pretty healthy. The most notable injury would be Marlon Humphrey. He missed this past Sunday with the knee injury, so we'll see what his status is going into the Broncos game. But both sides coming into this game relatively healthy. Now, let's talk about what to watch for and some of the numbers and facts and figures here. Broncos offense up against a Ravens defense that is not very good. I mean, when you think of the Baltimore Ravens, I think the first thing you think of is Ray Lewis and that 2000 defense. That is not there right now. They sorely miss Anthony Weaver, their old defensive coordinator, old defensive line coach, who is now down in Miami as their DC. But I think the number one thing to watch for here is we have oil meets water. Ravens offense against the Broncos defense. Baltimore, second in scoring, first in total yards. Denver's defense, third in scoring, third in total yards. Something's going to have to give here. We also have an all-time coach matchup. I mean, Sean Payton and John Harbaugh, 2 future Hall of Fame coaches, both of them have exactly 165 wins. Sean Payton has 101 losses. John Harbaugh, 102 losses. And both of them won a Super Bowl a little over 10 years ago. So awesome job by Mike Klist kind of digging that up right there. Both of them searching for their 166 win. Both coaches, legends in my eyes. So who you got? Broncos versus Ravens. My score prediction will be at the end of the video, so stick around for that. But I do want to hear from everyone watching right now who you think is going to win this matchup down below in the comment section. My first key to victory, slow down Derrick Henry. No, I'm not going to say stop Derrick Henry. You can't. Derrick Henry is the best running back in the NFL right now. He is leading every single running back stat possible. He is treating his body like a temple. He is eating all the right things, something I could never do. And he is making sure that even at the age of 29, 30, he looks like he's 18 years old. He is nearly at 1,000 yards. 946, first in the NFL, 9 touchdowns through 8 games, and 6.5 yards a carry. But it hasn't always been great for Henry this year. He's been very good, of course. He's been the best. But you can look at the difference in the Ravens' wins versus the losses. Now, they've played more games than they have won, so that's going to skew a little bit that way. But still, look at the difference in, average and touchdowns and losses against wins. So, again, you're not stopping Henry. He's going to get his, and that's kind of the deal when you play this Ravens offense. But can you just get some gauze on that wound so it's not just an absolute free-for-all and a fire hydrant on a hot summer day? The Broncos' run defense in the games they have won, they give up 87 yards per game. In the 3 games they have lost, they have given up 138 yards per game. This is clearly something that Denver's defense is living and dying by. When they stop the run, they're in great shape. When they do not stop the run, and that's a tough thing to do with Derrick Henry, they are in bad shape. So, once again, you can't stop Henry. I'm not going to stand here and say, if Derrick Henry gets to 100 yards, the Broncos are screwed. He's probably going to get to 100 yards. But can you just not let him get to 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, right? Can you not let him rip off that huge, explosive, long run? Can you just keep him somewhat caged up a little bit and chained down towards the line of scrimmage so he doesn't completely wreck and take over the game? That is key number 1 for me. We're going to look at key number 2 and key number 3 in just a moment. But today's show is made possible thanks to our great friends over at Game Time. If you want to go see a Broncos game, an Avs game, or a Nuggets game, Game Time Picks makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but again, create an account and redeem code CHAT Sports for $20 off. I love that they offer the Game Time guarantee, which is if you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Create an account and redeem that code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. Key to victory number 2. It is time for the takeaways galore season. I mean, go back to last year when Denver really got hot and really got them back in the playoff mix. What fueled it? The defense, specifically the takeaways. I mean, that 5-game stretch a year ago, which started right around now. I mean, it started last year in week 7, and they picked up 2 interceptions in week 8 of this year. So the timeline's adding up in a win against the Panthers, and they went 5-0 when they put together 5 takeaways, 4 takeaways, 3 takeaways, 3 takeaways. So I am looking at this Denver defense to attack a vulnerability of the, vulnerability is the wrong word because the Ravens have done a great job of protecting the football this year. But let's get them uncomfortable. Let's get them in a spot where they are usually not at. The Ravens lost to the Browns last week, and they did not turn the ball over once. So no, it's not like if the Ravens turn it over, it's game over. But let's get them in a position where they really haven't been. Plus, I mean, just looking at the takeaway leaders for the team, you know what I don't see enough of? I don't see enough of John Franklin Myers. I don't see enough of Nick Bonito, Jonathon Cooper, Zach Allen. Can we get the 5 guys up front to really start leading the charge in some of these forced fumbles and start wreaking havoc? They've done a phenomenal job of generating pressure and sacking the quarterback. But if I'm going to be greedy, because honestly, when you're looking to be a real contender in the AFC, you have to aspire to be better than you are right now. Let's see this defensive line take that next big jump and be a team that can just do more than sack the quarterback, but also force a fumble, come up with an interception, start tipping passes so the DBs can start catching interceptions. So for me, takeaways galore. Let's see that start right now because that's what fueled the Broncos' run last year, and I want to see it fuel another run this year. Also, when we're looking at a rookie quarterback on the road, and I think, by the way, Bo Nix played the best game of his young career against the Panthers, but that's a one-win Panthers team. It's a little bit different when you go on the road to the Charm City. I want to make Bo's life as easy as possible every single week. I don't want to ask Bo to be Superman just quite yet. And a great way to make his life easier is, hey, Bo, you have 1st and 10 at the Ravens' 40-yard line because Riley Moss just picked off a pass from the 30 and returned 30 yards, right? Can we get this offense in some good field position to kind of jumpstart things? I mean, they have done well by themselves. They don't need jumpstarting just yet. But I think when you're playing in Baltimore, every inch matters. And a field position game could very well be the difference maker in this one. Third key to victory, I want to see Denver finish strong. Yeah, you like to see them finish strong every single week, but especially against the Ravens. Because if there is an Achilles heel for Baltimore at home as of late, it is their inability to close out games. Go back to the Raiders game in week 2. But go back from 2022 to present day, so we're looking at 2.5 seasons now, pretty good sample size. The Ravens have been outscored in the second half 117-53 in all their home losses. In the fourth quarter, 76-22. they have melted down in the second half a handful of times. I mean, I could think of three right off the top of the head right now. Browns last year, there was the Dolphins 28-3 fourth quarter, and the Bills come back against the Ravens a year ago as well. So all I need for Denver to do is just hang around. Keep yourself in this game, because the Ravens have shown they are not very good closers. They do not have a very good bullpen. If they were an MLB franchise, I think the Orioles had a good pen this year. So maybe it's like the Yankees right now in the postseason. But anywho, they have not shown that they can close games at home for whatever reason. I can't really make sense of it. But all the Denver Broncos need to do, I feel like, to win this game is just hang around. Don't fall behind too much early in this game. Stay in striking distance. And then you get that takeaway in the second half. And the offense capitalizes on it. And then you box up Derrick Henry in their response. And you've got a good shot at coming out on top in this game. So predict the score for me. Broncos versus Ravens. My score prediction coming up in just a moment. But let me know down in the comment section. I feel like I have a civic duty at this point to take the opposition, just because I feel like I've gone below 500 on my score predictions this year. So I'll be the fall guy. I'm going to take the Ravens 23-17. But I do believe the Broncos are going to show themselves and the entire NFL world that they can hang with the best in the AFC, or one of the best in the AFC, and that they could be a legitimate candidate to go and take a wild card spot and really give some team fits on the road in the first round of the playoffs. So I'll take the Ravens this week, but maybe that's just because they'll be hungry to win next week against the Chiefs. So in a way, you're welcome. Before we sign off, I do want to show some love to the Blue and Orange Club. Slap Yourself, I Don't Give a Buck, John E., Anthony, Bob Leglocks, Rick Callister. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel and being so generous every single watch party. Hang out with us during our next couple of watch parties. We'll add you to the list with a $100 super chat if you're able to. Appreciate everyone for hanging out and watching our video today. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe. Also, like the video. Liking the video really does go a long way to kind of boost our content in the YouTube algorithm and get more Broncos fans over here. So would greatly appreciate it.